Be the CEO came about first because, like other nurses, I was like, freedom. I want freedom. And for me, it became be the CEO of your life. And so most people just started hearing the name, but I was like, no, 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 no. I'm really trying to be the CEO of my life, meaning I'm trying to take my life in my own hands and I just want freedom. So whatever I got to do, let's do it, right?
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Nurse Boss Shift. It's your girl, Dr. Kiiyonna Jones.
Hey, and I'm Christal P, the Beauty NP.
The Beauty NP. And we are excited to have a special guest, you guys. As you know, we always bring in people who come through with the fire, and especially if they are nurses who are entrepreneurs, they have a special place in our heart. So I want to first bring to you Brittany Wright, the owner of Be the CEO. Right. And you have a second business. Tell us about your gym business, your second wellness.
So Be the CEO is what they call me.
Okay.
And then GymFit Apparel is my actual business.
Okay. So your name is Be the CEO, and I'm assuming that's also your Instagram name too. Is that right? Right. Okay. And so it's wellness, fit apparel, but you also do. Is that your other coaching business? Is that under that umbrella, or do you have a different name for that one?
So no, it's all under one umbrella. So GymFit Apparel is how it got started. And then the health and wellness coaching came behind because everybody started DMing me after they saw that I was dropping weight and I was really serious about my weight goals. And then I had the cute outfits to go with it. And they're like, listen, whatever you're doing, we want to do it too. So,
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. So can you tell us about it? Tell us just about your journey. Yeah, please.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. So Be the CEO came about first because, like other nurses, I was like, freedom. I want freedom. And for me, it became be the CEO of your life. And so most people just started hearing the name, but I was like, no, 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 no. I'm really trying to be the CEO of my life, meaning I'm trying to take my life in my own hands and I just want freedom. So whatever I got to do, let's do it. Right. And so GymFit Apparel came about from after having my daughter, wanting to get back into shape. I've always been really big into athletics when I was in high school. And so after having a baby, we know it takes a second to get your life back together. And so as I started going to the gym, I would notice women of different sizes and, like just being dressed in like jeans and all these different things. And I'm like, women should feel comfortable. You should feel your best whenever you're going. It's already a hard thing to go do if you don't like doing it. So I was like, listen, every woman should feel how I feel right now. If I'm cute and I got on cute shoes, I'm going to keep going. Whether I'm getting results or not, I look fly, so I'm just going to go. And that's kind of how it came about. I wanted every woman to have this confidence, whether they really worked out or not, whether they were picking up the kids, whether they're going to the grocery store. So essentially, it's an athleisure line that I created, whether it doesn't matter where you're going, whether you're going out, whether you're going to the grocery store, picking up kids, you should be comfortable and you should be confident. So that's how it came about.
I love that.
Yeah.
And you let the market kind of tell you what they wanted and you listened and you took action, is what it sounded like to me.
Right. That's what it was. I saw a thing that was needed. And then not only that, I began gearing my stuff towards women who didn't have much to choose from. Like, you can't see me, but I got hips. So my sizes go from small to 3X. So I want every woman to feel the same way. And now we do have a men's line coming because every man has said, so you don't have anything for us? And I found out it's a huge market because most men don't have a line. They usually have to go to Nike or somewhere like that because most people don't offer. So I'm like, time to tap into that. That's a money maker. Let me go ahead and get that really quick. Buy for the whole family while you're there.
Yeah. So I can't think of a men's. I'm just trying to think, and I bought Fabletics, Fenty. I guess they may have me. I don't really look, but I don't see them in front of me either. Like, you know what I'm saying? If they do exist, I don't see them. So
Right.
that makes
That's the
sense.
problem. Because you know
Right.
them as Nike, Under Armour, those, but you don't
Right.
see anybody owning one. So yeah, we're providing that now.
I love that. And so that's the fitness brand. That's the fitness clothing branch. And then tell us about the wellness or the, health aspect.
Yes. So the health aspect came of it. Once again, as I was building this program, I also walked through a divorce. And so that the health and wellness part always was a part of me, right? But with my health and wellness program, it's literally it's mind, body, and soul, but I like to say physically, mentally, and spiritually. So it's not just about losing weight. It's not just about getting to a size really quick. It's a whole lifestyle. Like I had one client, she came to me about wanting to drop weight for a party. And I was like, okay, if you say so. By the time the party came, before the party was in 4 weeks, I think by the third week, she was like, I don't even care about the party because I work on creating something that we can discipline first, right? And as we work on that one thing that we can discipline. So usually we incorporate something spiritually that you do every day, because as you get your spiritual right, then usually that starts to make room for the mental clarity. And then and the mental part comes with maybe reading a book every day. And then so now we're creating habits. Now that moves into the physical aspect of it. Once you start disciplining yourself and then you start creating the habits, they all work together. I like to call them as a triangle that literally they feed off of each other.
Right.
And then it becomes a lifestyle. And then you start realizing, wait, I can't do one without the other, because now I've created this lifestyle of all three working together. So really, I have a podcast called Redefining You. You are redefining you. You are becoming exactly who you want to be. You're be the CEO. You're being the CEO of your life. So it all works together.
Yes.
So, and that's just how it works. So I really work on whoever it is creating the lifestyle they want and building it to where they want to go. It's not just about weight loss. So that's how it works. Yeah.
And tell us about, that was amazing, by the way, how you came to that. But I want to take us back to your medical career, your nursing career, and how that got you to wanting freedom and wanting to create something that you can have a business in.
Right. So my background is trauma and ortho. It's pretty much, I've done some other things, but that's my biggest thing, where I was a charge nurse on the floor, and it was crazy. It was busy. I loved it while it lasts, but then it burnt me out. Right. And after I started doing that for a while, I traveled for a while. I did a year and a half of travel nursing, and I enjoyed that. I got to meet so many people. I got to see so many things. However, as I went to work and I started seeing the same patients come back for the same things. And I realized most of these patients didn't understand what they had. Like, they didn't understand their diagnosis. And they probably either have been diagnosed with it long time ago, and they keep coming back because they don't really know how to deal with it. They're saying yes at discharge, but they really don't know what to do. Or they are diagnosed with something, they don't know the right questions to ask. Usually our older patients are comfortable where they are. So learning something new, they're just like, oh, whatever. Okay. Yeah. And they go on about life and they keep living it the same way. For me, I wanted to begin to change that narrative. And I wanted to start that in my community. We can live longer. We can change things if we have the right people in place to show people what to do and how to do it. We can tell them, but doesn't mean they're going to go and do it. So I want to start being accountable myself first by taking care of me. But then once I started doing that, going to work and showing up and being able to hold people accountable with that. And so how that kind of veered off with the health and wellness program of really helping people, like just being their accountability partner. And that's how the program started to develop and get bigger. So yeah, I want to be not everybody, but I want to be the accountability partner or the resource when people don't know, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
So.
And I guess, okay, so What's crazy, first of all, the fact I love that you are not just marketing to nurses. I know that's too, you, I'm sure, have probably a disproportionate amount of nurses who are your clients just because you're a nurse. It's just the way it's going
Right.
to be. But I love that you are focused on women, right? And now you are even veering into men, and then this
Mhm.
wellness space. And then nursing is just like an added, like, a greatness about you, right? But
Right.
your unique selling proposition began just simply by you sharing your journey, which makes it so organic and authentic and relatable. Because I think as women, we can all relate to weight gain after babies.
Ab- Absolutely.
We can all
Absolutely.
relate to, and we still want to be cute. Like when we go to the
Right.
gym, we still want to feel cute. So I think we can all relate to that. But there does take a different type of person to be able to say, okay, I am sharing my journey. Bam. Okay. I'm just sharing my journey. Then to say, oh, people keep asking me about this. This is a business opportunity. Now, what made you, and I always say, what gave you the audacity to do it? Because that is the key. It's like that little switch. Because another person might be like, oh, yeah, or they'll, help people, but they'll never see it as a business opportunity where you can get both. You can be able to help people and you can be able to profit off of it, which you should unapologetically. And nurses are notorious for being in servitude. And so tell me, what gave you the audacity?
Two things. My freedom, once again,
You
I
said
already knew
that.
I knew I was not going to be a bedside nurse forever. I had already planned and I had already had on my vision board a few years ago. By 2022, I was going to be a PR nurse, and it happened.
Okay.
Right? I speak
Ooh.
everything that I know that I want to happen, I believe will happen in God's will. I speak it, and I just believe it'll happen. Two, my family's entrepreneurs. Like my parents own daycares.
Ah.
Um, my sister's a realtor. She's a top 2% realtor in Charleston. And then I
Ooh.
found out my history that my great grandfather owned a lumber company back in the day, and he couldn't read or write.
Oh,
And so I was like,
wow.
that's where I get it from. So I was like, they go and get it, so can I. But honestly, the helping part came first. That's just in
Yeah.
my nature to
Yeah.
nurture as nurses, you know?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then I don't even think at first the business part came. It just was like, let me just do this because people need it. It
Mhm.
needs to just happen. And
Mhm.
at first, I
Mhm.
didn't really charge people because I just wanted to help. I believe
Mhm.
always believed the money would come.
Mhm. Mhm.
I just knew it would come. So when you do the right thing, the right things come towards you, and
Absolutely.
that's how I've always felt. So yeah,
And
now we here.
I was just gonna ask you, going back to the apparel, if someone is listening, like, how the heck do you start an apparel line? Like, do you source your fabrics? Are you getting it made? Like, how did you? Because I see what you have on. Is that one of your lines? Because it looks really cute from over here.
Yeah, I don't know
Um,
if
okay.
that's one of the
bit of confidence. Woo!
and then this is like one of the workout gears.
Love
So
And
that.
guys, if you're listening to this on audio, y'all need to be following our YouTube channel too, because we do have visuals. So she is showing us
yes.
her fit, and it is cute, by the way. I love that.
That's why I'm over here like, well, how did you go about sourcing stuff like that?
Yes, first I'll have to get you guys some. We'll talk about that, and I'll
Oh,
send you
yes,
guys some stuff.
please.
Um, but so there's multiple ways. And I don't know if you guys ever heard of Body Envy, but she was one of the first people I followed, right?
Mhm.
And I kept saying, I'm gonna meet her. I'm gonna meet her. I met her more than one time, like 3 times. But there's multiple ways. So you can either go the route of wholesaling and getting somebody to you get your logo made and then you can have them press, you can press it yourself. Or you can eventually either start there and then eventually move into cut and sew, or you can move right into cut and sew. Cut and sew is much more expensive, and that's where you design and they cut and sew. They literally create it. So when I started, part of mine was wholesaling at first just to get started. And I just found exactly the fit that I wanted. I went through a lot of people because
Mm.
everybody isn't made for tips. And that was my goal. And I wasn't going to stop till I got it to the right material, right? And then after
That's
I did that, started moving. Yeah. No, I was
Christal really hippie. So Christal like, yes, for the hips.
my best friend is hippie too. She's like, you nailed it. You nailed it. I said, I wasn't gonna stop. It's made for us. So from there, I moved to cut and sew, and then started working, getting a project manager, and moving from there. And then we started creating. I would design a lot of the things, and we would put our brains together what we wanted to do, and then then we started rolling. So,
and I will just tell you, this is so funny because I forgot at one point I thought I was going to have a fitness line because I live in LA, right? So just one day I'm downtown LA shopping, and then I stumble upon this wholesale district that was all athletic. And come to find out is exactly where Fabletics got their was purchasing theirs. They were making it. I don't know what they're doing now, but at the time, this probably was 7 years ago.
Right.
And so I was like, and so in my mind, I was always business, but I just didn't know. It was just one of those things. But anyway, my point was when you were talking about the wholesale, I know I get it. Like, and I was thinking Fabletics, I was paying almost like at that time, $80 to $100 for a set. And they were selling it for like $30 downtown at this particular supplier. So in my mind, I was going to do it, but of course I didn't do nothing with it. But the point was I get the wholesale piece, and there could be money made with wholesale as well.
Right,
for sure.
Right.
For
because
sure.
they're making all different types. So somebody else may never ever have your design because they're constantly making new ones.
Yeah.
So if that works for you, hey, do it. You didn't even know Fabletics was doing it until you walked in that store. But
like,
people were buying it, right?
I just paid $100 for this outfit. And the only difference is it got the little F on it.
Right. And look at the company now, right?
Yes.
Some people sleep on wholesaling, but if it's a way to start, you just start.
Yes,
The
I
thing
agree.
is just start.
I so agree.
Once you make the money, you can move.
And I was going to say, and now even beyond, so when Fabletics first started, they were shipping to me. This was, like I said, it was forever ago. But now I be shopping at Fenty, and they take money out of my account every month, right? And I don't even like. Sometimes I'm like, oh shoot, I got like 4 whatever they give you, where then I can go get 4 outfits, and it's like you can also do memberships, subscription. Like it's so many things you can do, and then the drop shipping. I guess you could do that too, because that's exactly what Rihanna is doing with it, and it's just. This is great.
So many different avenues. And then once you build that one thing, like people think you have to have 7 different revenues. No, you start with the one thing and you build it. I built the apparel. People watch my journey as they watch me wear the apparel. And they say, oh, I want to look like her.
That's good.
Yeah, I want to look like you. I've had so many people say, I want to look like you. I said, no, you should look like you, but we can, tailor it to whatever you want, right? So now I tack on a health and wellness program. Now we tack on all kind of other essentials that go with it. Now there's a membership program. I'm working with trainers where we're going to make workout videos. So now I'm going to have an app next where you get all of this and it's so many things that you can just build and create your freedom. Like you just can nowadays. So.
And we always talk about like the first step, like you see, and people are so afraid to take that for that one step is going to open up doors for that you just can't see. You don't have the vision yet because you have not become the person yet. So when you take that first step, essentially, in my mind, you're letting God know you're serious. And so now that he knows you're serious, he's going to start exposing you, and your lenses are going to open wide up, and you're going to be like, oh my God, all this opportunity. And you start seeing so much. And then you start it's so abundant that you don't even know what to do next. Cause it's like, oh my God, it's just so many things that I can do. Let me slow down and not try to do everything at once. So I love that. That is great. Christal, did you have anything?
No.
Okay. My next thing I wanted to ask you is the business side of this. So it's one thing, like we both know, like, and I am definitely at the point in my business where I am scaling. And so scaling is where I call the turbulence phase. It's like, I have to become a different person. Now I'm working with multiple people on my team. different personalities. I need to understand sales. I need to understand my business model even more so now, because 7 figures to go from 6 figures is one thing. That's hustle, hustle, hustle to go to 7 figures. It has to be systems in place. It has to
Right.
be, you cannot get away from it. You have to have an operational side of your business, and you have to become a different person. So my question to you is from a business aspect. It's one thing to just be recording and you're doing it ugly, you're showing up, you're having your cute fit on, but now you're making it a business. And so what do you have a team? What does the business side of this look like?
Systems.
Okay.
And
I love it.
I would have to say, like, I was hard-headed because I just started just like, let's run, right? Um, Thankfully, going to conferences and being around like-minded people, I learned a whole lot that I wasn't doing and that I needed to do really quickly. And thankfully, I know one of the questions before I was asked, who was your mentor? God. I'm gonna be honest. And I know most people aren't looking for that answer, but I felt like where you said earlier, you have to become a different person. Well, he was stretching me to become a
Yeah.
different person. And
Mhm.
I kept saying every day, who do I need to become to get to where I'm going? That means there's a lot of things that had to come off. Procrastination had to be. I had to hire a virtual assistant at one point. Then the next thing might have been I had to hire a project manager, right? So I had to start spending money. And not only that, though, I had to realize what I didn't have. And what I didn't have, I said I have to hire for. So I'm not the most structured person. I'm going to say that. I'm a creator. I will
Yeah.
create. However, I was talking to my therapist. And I said, like, God keeps bringing these people that are so structured. Maybe he's trying to tell me I need to. She's like, no, he's providing what you don't have. So
Yeah.
your business is your vision. You don't have to change who you are or what you do for the vision to happen and for it to grow. But what you do
Mhm.
have to do is hire for all the things you need for the business to scale.
I love it.
That's
I
what
love it.
happened.
Yeah.
So I got a team in Miami that basically does a lot for me between the shipping and between the when we do the cut and sew and designing together, um, all from online. A lot of times I'm flying to Miami and then I come back, so we can do photo shoots and different things like that. But a lot of things we do via Zoom. We have um, different outlets and stuff that we use where we create clothing, and then we just a lot of emailing, a lot of phone calls, a lot of that back and forth. And then after that, we have to just fly out to see what things look like and go from there. But having a project manager who kind of just handles most of that, where I can
Mhm.
do my part, but then she knows the other side of it better than I do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I stay in the
I
CEO position, and then she's
yeah.
like, well, let's do this, let's do that. I know this will work, and I trust her. So
Yeah.
that's how we move.
And see a lot of, I would say a lot. I'm generalizing, right?
Mhm.
But especially an inexperienced business owner, we get really afraid to start dumping out money, right? And it's been ingrained in us. And you're at a good position because you've had entrepreneurs, so you can go to mom and dad and they can remind you or whatever. But a lot of people don't, and so spending that money, especially if you got people from the U.S. too, you can't come talking about $5 an hour. It's not gonna happen. And so that means you put yourself in an uncomfortable situation, but you know that it's worth it in order to go to the heights that you are trying to get to.
Right.
And so what I heard from you is that you had a mentor or someone you can talk to about that in addition to your parents, but also someone
Yeah.
else, your therapist, who, kind of talked you through that also. But the fact that you listened and you stepped out is the courageous part. That
Yeah.
that it's one thing. It's easy for people to tell you, like, okay.
It's
But, like, are
scary.
you going to absolutely, but getting comfortable with the fear. Like, I am so comfortable with being uncomfortable. Like, I do go through my process, though. I'm like, "Ugh, what am I doing?" I'm probably looking for a job, like, at least 5 times out of the year because 'cause I'm a full-time entrepreneur too. So, like, sometimes I'm like, for real, I could, like, I got my PhD. I'm about to just go on and work for somebody. It would be much easier, but it wouldn't because I'd be unhappy. Right. And
Right.
then,
Right.
so the minute I start these negative thoughts, something happens so great. And I'm like, okay, God, I hear you. I'm sorry. Because I know you got me. Right. But and then I'm going for it, and then every time it's a little bit back, then forward, a little bit back, then forward, and 2 steps back, 5 steps forward, 1 step back, 3 steps forward, and this is the journey. I think it takes a different type of person to do that. And not to say everyone can't do it, because I think everyone can do it. I think what we need to help us do it is different. So if someone already has background with entrepreneurs, your issue might not be, can I be successful as an entrepreneur? You know it. Your grandfather was, your mom and dad are. So that's not the issue. It may be something else, right? But to be able to identify that and have that thought, right? Especially for nurses, I think is just so unique. And being in the rooms, you said it, like you gotta be in, and everybody shouldn't be a nurse. I'm not talking about the nurses' rooms. I'm talking about where maybe there's a small handful of healthcare professionals as a collective, and you're going there and you're learning from them and things like that. So what I was gonna, Christal, if you wanted to, we're gonna veer on to the next part, which is, I know we've talked about the business aspect, but I want to dive a little bit deeper for the overhead. Like, is this something that the average person nurse can do working a 12-hour shift, you think? Or did you quit your job? Like, I don't even know. I didn't even ask you, are you still working? I know you were talking about per diem and.
I'm per diem.
Okay.
That's it. I am per diem. And because I created my life to be that way. But you can, like I said, you can start off, you don't have to start off huge. Small beginnings always end up getting bigger. You just have to keep pushing and keep working. I remember listening to different, a few companies where, like, I remember this one girl, she said, I started off with 2 shirts. Now has $1 million company. It's just the confidence that goes behind what you start. So yes, you can start small. Start off with wholesaling, right? Yeah. Get a few boxes of a couple of things that you like, either get it printed or buy you a Cricut machine or whatever machine that you can print yourself. And the thing is market, brand. You do that, you can sell anything. Yeah. You sell those, you take that money and you buy inventory again. And then you expand. Now you buy more inventory. And then I'm giving a lot of sauce right now.
You really are, because I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I gotta say this. The problem that people make is they get the money and they spend it. You haven't made no money yet. Just ignore it. Act like it's not even there and reinvest it in your business.
Reinvest it. And let me tell you, I didn't learn all of this from my family. Even though my family, like, I saw my parents doing their things, I heard my dad talk about the amount of money they were spending, but like, I was a teenager. I was like, whatever, as long as I had a house overhead, whatever. But when I got into this, I was like, oh my goodness, okay, I made this much. I gotta give it back. Okay. Right. But that's what you do. And then you have to also remember what you're buying. You include your shipping in this. You include all these extra things into what you're pricing your items for.
Yes.
And then from there, you just keep expanding that way. And then you buy more products and then you sell and then you have sales. People like sales. Yeah. And then you expand. And that's the major thing. So yes, you can go work 12 hours. I was working the whole entire time doing this. So I had to, like, if anything taught us in the pandemic, you better have something else going on, right? So I had this and I was still working even while I was traveling. The thing was, create a team that can keep things going. And you don't have to have a big team at first. You just need one, maybe even 2 people you trust. Sit down, have a team meeting of what needs to happen, and have an understanding that you're just beginning this, but those are your riders and you take them with you, right?
Yes.
And that's that.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I have a question I want to ask you. And this is we always talk about on this page, just like I always say what my biggest months were. And I want to ask you, what has been your biggest month for your business? You can give us a range, but if you give us a good close range, that would be great. Because I am big on wanting nurses to know like, we can't even imagine. Like, I never imagined I could have an over 100K month. Never. As a nurse, like, how's that possible? Right. So I just want people to understand that what is possible for us. And this, honestly, you don't have to be a nurse to do this, but I just think to see a nurse doing it is a different experience, or to hear of a nurse doing it is a different experience.
Right. I have not hit a 6-figure month yet.
That's okay.
No. I'm working on that. Let's just
Period.
say we're working on that, and that's my
Yes.
goal to have that. Um, and even then, I think I would still probably do PRN nursing just because that's just a part of my thing. But that's my goal.
So have you made over 50K a month yet? Have you
Close.
made it there yet? Okay.
Close.
And see what and even then, if we think about it in nursing world, even close to 50, I don't even 30 is just
Right.
not
Even those
something,
I'm like, maybe help.
just not something
Right.
we could just do, exchanging time for money. It's
Right. And the thing is though, like even if before you even get to that, the fact that you can even make money while you're working or sleeping. Like I woke up and could have a whole
orders.
set or just a
Yes.
whole bank account of money sitting over here. And I didn't have to do anything but wear the clothes.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing.
Yes. And
Like,
that is the lick. And I think people don't like even me who was I started, so I have a med spa, but I started in permanent makeup. And I remember I will never forget this time. And I was only charging $250 for a set of brows, but I woke up and I had a payment and I had not done the brows yet. And that blew me, like for real, because we are not used to that. And I was thinking like, okay, so and by the time I got to 6 figures in it, and this is for the year, I wasn't having 6-figure months, but at that time, but this was for the year. And I was just like, I am getting paid because I was booked out. So people were paying me a couple months down the line. Like, it changed my whole life to realize that it's limitless. And so I wasn't trying to push you, Brittany, but I did want to, because I am passionate about letting nurses know, listen, y'all, the potential and what we are doing right now, I love what we do as nurses. We are so necessary. But until we start to reclaim our worth and value, we will continue to have the treatment that we have at the bedside and feel like we have to take it.
Right.
And
no, absolutely.
Think about you. You're probably like, if they trip, I'm bye. You go ahead, Chris.
I was going to say, I think it's because we don't deal with the money part. So we don't really know, like we know healthcare makes a lot of money, but I think if we had to charge what that patient has to pay at the end of the day, or in the insurance companies, then maybe we would start to see like, I made the hospital this much money from this one patient one time. And then I think we would start that part is hidden from us, and good, for good reason. Because that part is hidden, we don't really know how much. So that's why when I had a 2K day, I was just like, I made this on my own, like without the hospital. That's just crazy, So
yes, I love it.
Right.
And
I remember that.
How long have you been in business, Brittany?
3 years.
Oh my gosh, that's still so new. We're new. Like honestly, my journey started about 6 years ago. Very new, still novice, and every level you're just learning more. So and that's so amazing though. You've been able. How long have you been per diem?
I just started this year. This year per diem. So I traveled for a year and a half, and so I took that money also and threw it into the business to expand it. So that was with that, I was able to do more things. So and that's the thing. People want, like, yes, I get working. I had to change my perspective of what work was to me, right?
Yeah.
Work was my investor. So it wasn't just, I thought I was going to work and I was doing God's work and I was serving and doing, I was also learning when I was going to work. These were my customers. How do I change this? How do I treat that? I also was learning as I was at work. This is $1 million company. What are they doing? What can I take from this to add it to my business for it to work? So it was really like my investor. It was part of my mentorship, everything. And I just got paid to go and pick up all those nuggets while I was there. And then put it into my business. And then I'm like, okay, I am my own investor now. Some people, yes, you can go get grants. Yes, until you build up business credit and all these different things. But as a small company, you either have the business credit or you have the money to be able to get the credit cards or loans, whatever you need. If you don't have that, there's nothing to take what you're already working going to work and taking a piece of that and investing into whatever you have. Invest in yourself. You just have to
Yeah.
make the decision. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I
I
love that you just mentioned that too. Oh, go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
I always tell people, and didn't you realize, like we say we did, is once you have that mindset shift that your job is the investor into your business, it makes going to work so much easier and so much better to deal with, and
Mhm.
the burnout kind of decreases because you know you're there for a ends to a means to an
right.
end, a means to
A
an end.
means to an end.
I would say. Yeah. No, that's it.
Yeah. No, yeah. And what I was gonna say to respond to what you said about like going to work, looking at things differently. I did a YouTube video called Bedside Nurse to Boss Nurse. And one of the things, it's on my YouTube channel, by the way, you guys. That's a plug, but since I said it, Psypreneur_nurse. But anyway, the on the YouTube video, what I talk about is like a lot of people think you have to own a business first to be a boss, but that's not true. You have to really have the mindset first. Like, so when you're at the hospital, like you said, you're paying attention, like, how are they making this money? How are they serving their customers? What is their unique selling proposition? Like you're already, and even if you don't know the terms, unique selling proposition, but you're thinking, how are they getting people in here? What makes them different, right? So you're paying attention to things like that from the beginning, and then you're becoming more pleasant. Like, do people even want to work with you? That's something people don't realize. Like, are you friendly? Are you nice? Are you approachable? Do you have good customer service? If you don't have any of that, you are not going to be a good entrepreneur anyway. So, like, work on those things. Those are free, by the way. Work on those because that's going to make you a better entrepreneur. And that truly is the beginning of your journey when you start to look at things from that perspective.
Right.
In your current job, not after you quit, not after you hit six figures. No, it really starts now. Really
Right.
starts
Because
now.
at the end of the day, like you want to be a good boss. You want your employees to want to work under you. So yeah.
No, totally agree. And this has been great. Actually, we went a little longer than we wanted to, but this is such a good topic and we just love your enthusiasm, Brittany. I feel like we need more people, nurses especially, to tap into their thing, like their greatness. And it doesn't make you not a nurse and you can still do your per diem if you feel like it. Like I went full time because I first of all I refused to go back to the bedside, but also because my job that I actually had before I left was in academia, and I was just like, it was an easy, cushy job, but it was getting in the way, and I was just like, okay,
Right.
it's time. Like I love it, but like, am I gonna do this entrepreneur thing or not? So it was great to be in that position, like, oh wow, my job is getting in the way of like my business now. So that it took some time. It was like years and years before I got to that point. But I think people not the more we wait, the more time's gonna pass.
Right.
So we just gotta step out, like you said, and then figure out the way as we go. That's the main
Right.
thing.
Right.
So
I agree. I definitely agree. I think you should definitely make sure that you are secure enough to leave.
oh yeah, for sure. Listen,
Make
that's
sure
what we
you
say all the time. We're like,
yeah.
listen, we're not saying quit your job. Not
Yeah.
at all. Because we got bills, mortgages, kids,
Right.
things to take care of. But what I am saying is don't think this is the end all be all if you're not happy.
No.
Now, there are some people at the bedside who love it. They're like, my life is, I love this. Great. We're not talking to you.
Absolutely
We're
not.
talking to the people who say they're not happy, the ones who sit in their car questioning their whole existence every time 15 minutes before work, the ones who are not happy. We're talking to those people, the ones who work in toxic environments, the ones who are burnt out. We're talking to you. Everyone else, do your thing.
Right. Absolutely. There's more nurses like that than what they will actually say, but they
Yeah.
feel like they have to stay there because they have a
Mhm.
family, because they have kids. There's
Mhm.
other options. You do not have to say, be the CEO of your life. Take a
Oh,
step up.
I love that. I love that so much.
So,
So we're gonna give we like to leave our listeners with three things you could give them. It's three we say homework that you would give them that could either get them started on their journey that was instrumental in your journey, or that you just think would be helpful for them to know about when it comes to entrepreneurship from the perspective of a nurse. What would those three things be?
so whatever you want to do, whatever business it entails or whatever it is, research, research, research. Don't just
Mm.
jump out here and just research.
Yeah.
Like, what does it take to create this business? What supplies and tools will you need? What will it cost? Absolutely research all the things. And when I say research, also who else is doing this? Who would be not only your competitors, but your mentors, right?
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
What are they doing? Because a lot of things that they're doing, you can just follow. It's
Mhm.
working for them until you build up big enough to create your own rules. So
Yeah.
research.
Mhm.
2, conferences, get around people who are not just in the industry you're in, other industries too, because learning other industries is going to teach you something. There's lessons in
Yeah.
everything you're doing. And not only that, get around like-minded people who are thinking business. The whole point
Mhm.
is to think business. So you can
Mhm.
go to conferences about business, but then you go to conferences or get around mentors or do mentorships with whoever's doing exactly your niche.
Mhm.
Um, and the third thing, be authentically you and show up as you every day,
Ooh.
just every day. And believe, like when I say authentically you, there has to be a belief that this will happen. So you show up as you, but believe in you so much, not in what the product or whatever it is. Believe in you because you will push whatever it is because
Yes.
you will believe in whatever it is. So if you believe in you and show up as you, the rest is written. You can't look
Yes.
left, you can't look right. You got to just stay forward and keep believing in you because you are good enough to do whatever it is that you're after. And you do that, you're golden. And God, like for me, it's God, and God created me. So I believe in me, I believe in Him, and we just do our
Yeah.
thing.
That's a whole word. Honestly, I
Yeah.
don't even have anything to say behind that. That's perfect in
Yeah.
every way. I'm just like, oh, I love her.
That's that's just how I've gotten through everything, and that's how
Yeah.
I've grown and soar, and
Yeah.
those are the 3 things I've done, and I believe that can be done in any business. So,
Yes. I love that, Brittany. Um, well, this has been really, really a great interview. Oh my gosh, it's been so good.
aw.
So I guess the next thing is just telling everyone how they can find you, where they can reach you, and more
Sure.
importantly, how can we get some of this fitness? Because I love
Yeah.
wearing my nice. My husband be like, "What are you? Why you got all
Like,
dressed up to go to the gym?" I'm like, I feel good. I feel like I work out better when I have a
yeah,
good fitness club.
you're more
Right.
So,
focused, I feel.
yeah. And I think I'm
Right.
cute. Like,
Right,
so.
you feel like you're cute. Right, you're like, even if you don't do anything, you're like, "But I was
Right.
cute." So, of course, I would say but the GymFit, which is GYMFIT apparel.com. That's the site. And then, of course, on Instagram or Facebook, on Instagram, it's shop GymFit Apparel.
Okay.
Um, and the same thing on Facebook. Or if you find me under BEE _ the CEO, that's
Right.
my IG. There's a link there with my link tree and it has everything on there too.
Okay.
That'll
So
send
you
you
just
over.
have the one page, and then from that we could get to your gym
You
fit
can
apparel.
you can get to the site and you can get to the IG. And then from there, for health and wellness assessments and stuff, I do the assessments through my IG. There, it has my link tree. So my
Okay.
link tree, and you'll say health assessment, and from there, once you schedule that, then we go over everything else. Because I like to tailor
Awesome.
everything to what that person needs. Until I really decide to build the website that I want, I just like
Okay.
it. I like for everybody to go through there so we can have a true one-on-one. Like I really like to
Yes.
talk to people. So
Oh, that's
yeah.
awesome. Okay. Well, listen, Brittany, we thank you so, so much for this interview.
Thank
This is
you.
absolutely amazing. You guys know, Christal and I, we don't gatekeep. We bring the amazing nurse voices who are trailblazing in entrepreneurship to you guys. So make sure you don't gatekeep and you tell your friends about us so they can listen as well. Not you, Brittany, but the
Oh.
people who are listening. She's like, I'm gonna tell them, girl. No. I'm telling the listeners we don't gatekeep. So for them not to gatekeep and
Right.
making sure that they let their people know. And we got some special things coming up with our actual True Savvy is the name of our company. And we're going to be having some coming up meetup events in person. So we're looking forward to that. We'll be announcing those, but you guys should have a link below. So make sure you are a part of our subscribers. So you will be the first to know what we have. You'll be surprised what we got coming up. We ain't gonna tell y'all yet, but we're working on some great things. Again, finding great nurse entrepreneur talent like Brittany to bring to you guys so that you can get out of your own way. Christal, any closing words before we head out?
Just want to thank you again, Brittany. This has been a wonderful episode. You guys take some of these tips and gems and actually do one of them. Just take one of the things that we say from the episodes or that our guests say, and at least try to do one of them to get you onto the next step. As we always say, and as our guests, all the interviews that we've done even today, just making the first step. That's all you have to do. Take the first step.
Until next time, you guys, thank you for listening to the Nurse Boss Shift, where the shift happens. Bye.